This meeting of the Finance Committee to order. The date is November 16th. The time is 2:02. Today we'll be discussing regular finance items and also budget items. With us today, we have Alderman Tolliver, we have Alderwoman Bade, we have Alderman Warman, Alderman Bug, and myself, Alderman Franco. First item on the agenda is approval of a number of minutes. So we'll start with the first one, 23-0869, approval of the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on October 24th, 2023.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Bay, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next one is 23-0877, approval of the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on October 26th, 2023.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Warman.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next one is 23-0893, approve the minutes of the Special Finance Committee meeting held on November 1st, 2023.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Warman,
Second.
second by Alderman Tolliver. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next one is 23-0902, approve of the minutes from the Special Finance Committee meeting held on November 2nd, 2023.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Warman, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. And the last of the minutes is 23-0915, approval of the minutes from the Special Finance Committee meeting held on November 7th, 2023. Motion by Alderman Boggs, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that also passes 5-0. Madam Clerk, anybody from the public wishing to speak?
No.
Okay. Then we'll go into the meat of the agenda. The first item being 23-0842, a resolution authorizing Presence Behavioral Health Employee Assistance Program, EAP, from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Good afternoon, Alicia Lewis, Chief Human Resources Officer. What's being brought before you is a contract, a new contract to be renewed for the next 3 years with EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. This is a organization that, through the Presence Behavioral Health, has provided services to the city for over 20 years. They provide grief and crisis counseling, as well as one-on-one counseling, employee conflict counseling. They also support the police department, and they've been an excellent partner with the city. And so we are asking for approval to go into a new contract with them.
Questions or comments from the committee? Lisa, I do have a question. Do we know how often we utilize the service of employees? Obviously, no names, but the volume-wise?
Our data is a year behind. So we've had, in 22, we had approximately 150 people that have gone through the program. And they provide training, proactive training and whatnot. So that's a totality of either those that have reached out for counseling as well as participating in different training events. And so the average utilization for employee assistance program is between 3 to 5% within an organization, and we just about fall right into that percentage. So they are not underutilized.
Sure. Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Bade, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is 23-0879, a resolution approving the purchase of bulk rock salt in the amounts of $70.15 and $70.72 per ton from Morton Salt Incorporated, Chicago, Illinois, for the Division of Street Maintenance under the State of Illinois Joint Purchasing Agreement bid for the 2023-2024 winter season.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Franco and the entire Finance Committee. My name is Adrian Perez, the Assistant Superintendent of Streets. We're seeking approval for the purchase of bulk rock salt for the City of Aurora roadways. We utilize this salt for all the city roadways. Obviously, for the protection of the travelers, it's one of the tools that we utilize for our winter operations. So this is actually the second part of the phase because we were here early in the season for the DuPage County one. So this is part of the state contract that went out for bid.
Questions or comments?
Yeah.
Alderman Bug.
Thank you for the information. Our standard question always, how much did we pay under their state contract last year?
The state contract that was paid last year, I believe just felt, let me see, I don't have that in front of me, so I can get back to you with that exact number, but I believe it was pretty close. It was in that realm of the $70 with the state one. Usually that falls shorter of the DuPage one. DuPage is a little bit higher than that one.
Right. Okay, and my other question, taking a dive into the whole contract and looking at all the municipalities, of course, it's on volume. So I looked at all the municipalities, of course, we're the second largest, and Chicago's not in this. So we got the second best price next to our friends to the east. Our volume was higher than theirs, but our price was higher instead of lower. Is that because that we have 2 drop-off points and they only have 1? Is that the reason for the difference?
So yeah, generally we usually get that one. This is the one weird year that we got 2 prices for, and I believe it's because of the trucking industry. That's been very tough to fill drivers to get the salt delivered. In the past, we've been pretty good with having one trucking or their trucking companies come in to deliver either at our central location or our Couts one. So our assumption is based on that contract, it is because of the travel time you have. Central being close to the 88 corridor, the tollway, it's an easier access coming from Chicago, or now you're traveling to that Couts location, which doesn't have an easier access point coming off a main thoroughbred like a tollway. So the travel cost is a thing that's been going up, not only just for our basic necessities of everyday life, groceries, everything else. Cost has gone up everywhere, and this is one of those things that we do anticipate every year for the cost to go up. But that was my understanding, was the double price was because of the trucking.
Okay. Thank you.
Alderman Bay.
Thank you, Adrian. So the last stock that we did, the 50% for the annual order, I think it was much more expensive. And now, are we seeing this price, which is consistent what we used to pay before pandemic?
I think everything. I mean, it's hard to. Everything's been going up. It's been a weird ebbs and flows. Everything's been up, down, and there's been really. We're at the discretion really right now. I mean, you've seen strikes from the drivers. I mean, every year is different. I can't really predict what every year is going to come. But since the pandemic, that was a very large spike. It has gone down a little bit. I'm not going to say it's definitely gone down. Like the last contract we did was that price at $69.59 per ton. So it hasn't gone like a significant jump, but for what we're paying right now, I mean it's manageable. But I can't anticipate because I'm not in that. I'm not calculating what their costs are every year or the year-to-year contracts that we may have to go through.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Hopefully that answers a little bit.
Since we had a relatively good year last year as far as lack of snowfall, do we have a lot of salt left over from last year?
Yeah, so currently we're sitting in pretty good shape. Right now, our Couts facility, we're at 4,500 max capacity of tonnage. Central, we have the 3,500 tons of max capacity. It's all max capacity. We have another satellite location that's holding 1,000. Our central location that's also full. We're in pretty good shape. The problem is we have a terrible winter with this new facility being built. That'll actually hold a significant amount more that will actually help us for that entire year, so that we don't ever get in trouble. Because again, once we run out or we are in a snow event, we definitely try to replenish and put those orders in for what we lost. So as that snow event goes, we do try to replenish, but again, we're at the discretion of that trucking company delivering on time, because they're delivering across different counties, different municipalities across the entire state. So that new facility definitely is going to help us down the road with storage of more salt, which I think, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, it's supposed to hold anywhere between 12 and 12,500 tons of salt on top of what we currently have. So that'll definitely put us in a better position so that we don't have a chance of ever running out. So thankfully in my tenure, we've come close where it's, pushing, but we haven't had that scenario. But there are preventative measures that we do try if we know we're getting low, but we're constantly monitoring after every event, calculations and everything, so that way we can replenish.
So we're going to purchase as much as we can to fill up the storage space that we have.
Yeah, so
That's our goal.
we definitely fill everything up to max capacity, and then we do also have overages so that we're not just stealing from our main supply. We have always extra on hand so that we can take from that first before we go into our main supply.
Any other questions or comments? Motion to approve. We have a motion by Alderman Warman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next item is 23-0905, a resolution authorizing the execution of a Phase 2 supplemental engineering agreement with Baxter and Woodman Incorporated and appropriating motor fuel tax funds, the amount of $18,833 for the Montgomery Road and Coutts Road traffic signal installation project.
Good afternoon. This is Rupa Anjanappa from Public Works Engineering. So a brand new signal is proposed at Montgomery Road and Coutts Road, and the original Phase 2 engineering services agreement was approved by the council back in March. And what you have in front of you is a supplemental engineering agreement, and this should cover the cost for the intersection design study, the environmental survey, and the coordination with the Fox Valley Park District that was requested by the IDOT. So we started doing the design, Phase 2 design, and it was determined that a right turn is warranted at that intersection, so basically on the east leg. And in order to add this work, IDOT requested that we submit all of this extra work, and the cost is around $18,833, and the budget allows for it this year and the next year. And the staff recommends approval and appropriation of the MFT funds in order to complete the design and let the project in the future.
Questions or comments from the committee?
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion by Alderman Bate, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, Rupa.
Thank you.
Next item is 23-0888, a resolution authorizing the city to accept a donation of real property owned by H. Linden and Sons Development Incorporated on South Spencer Street, Aurora, Illinois.
Good afternoon, Gio Santana, Superintendent Parks. The item before you is pretty standard, accepting donation of land consisting of a total of 7 parcels. These parcels are adjacent to city land already owned by the city of Aurora under the maintenance of the Parks Department. Accepting this land won't prove any additional maintenance or anything additional will be pretty negligible since we're already maintaining the land adjacent to it. We've been having these discussions about acquiring this land for some time ongoing, so now the developers are ready to see this land over to the city.
Questions or comments? So, Gio, I know I read in here that we don't know exactly what we're going to use it for. We have any ideas what we might be using it for?
There's been some conversations about different proposed projects, but one of the things is the area is currently in a floodplain, or a portion of the area is in a portion of our area is in a floodplain that could be coming to an expiration soon. So once that, with other improvements that are being made in the area, so I think once that determines what a large portion of our land comes out of it, we'll determine kind of next steps for the area as a whole.
Right, and this is west of Phillips Park, right?
Yes.
No other questions or comments?
Motion to
We
approve.
have a motion by Alderwoman Bade, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last item is a budget item, 23-0832, review the proposed 2024 city budget, public facilities.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Guadalupe Gonzalez, Superintendent of Facilities Maintenance.
I got it. Good afternoon. Jim Burchell, Chief Public Facilities Officer, Alderman, Alderwoman, Mr. Chairman. We're going to today we're going to present Central Services, MVPS, Transit, Route 25, Route 59, Animal Control, and our Fleet Maintenance divisions. Each division head will get up. They'll do a slight presentation with a slide for each DP. Stop us at any time. couple of keynotes we wanted to say that with your support and your approval, we were able to hire our animal control manager and our superintendent of facilities. Both you'll be presenting before you this morning or this afternoon. City Hall remodel, we're in it right now. That's opened. Council chambers is still in progress. It's going to be beautiful for you guys. Human resources remodel, we're starting to put walls together. That's going to be another awesome project. And then my most exciting one is the APD parking deck repairs. I don't know how to say this professionally, but we're kicking butt over there. And we're putting it back together. We're on the last piece of it now, which is the center expansion joint. And then City Hall, we're doing caulking and painting on the riverside. I'm sure that you've seen the improvements over there. The rust is gone and it's now a nice, pretty black, and everything's caulked and watertight. So we're going to move on to our animal control division. And like I said, once again, thank you for your support.
Good afternoon, Derek Winston, Director of Public Facilities. We're going to go into animal control. Before I start, I'd like to introduce our new animal control manager, Cameron DeBoer, but I'm not going to throw her in the fire right away. Okay, let's see. Okay, so a couple of things that we did this year. We were able to convert our volunteer and rescue coordinator to a full-time city employee. We made our main entry doors ADA compliant, and we're working on operating all of our standard operating procedures. A few things we want to get accomplished next year. Number one, we want to upgrade our animal control software. So they're currently on Shelter Pro, which is a very cumbersome and not a user-friendly system. We're looking at possibly a Chameleon, which is the brand name of this software. It'll give us improved data storage and reporting. It'll expand our capabilities and also allow us mobile access to the database. On the infrastructure side, we're looking at replacing 3 of the rooftop units on the facility. And the current ones are about 20 years old, and this will ensure a comfortable environment for the employees and all the animals. Okay, and also we have a decision package to beautify the exterior, particularly the rear of the building, which is east towards the riverside there. We have a lot of low areas, some cracked asphalt, some concrete that needs to be replaced, and make that a functional, safe area. And then we also want to complete the replacement of the flooring in the shelter, mainly in the center areas, hubs, and that'll match the existing floor that we've done already. Okay. Any questions on animal control?
I have a question, and I don't know, Derek, if you can answer this, or Jim, or even Alex. Obviously, all this work needs to be done. Have we given consideration short-term or long-term to say maybe we need a bigger facility, a new facility somewhere? I don't know how that discussion goes, but, obviously, sometimes repurposing is more conducive, or building new, it depends on what you need. So I didn't know if that discussion has ever taken place.
We've had that discussion. At this point, we're not prepared to say we need an expansion. We need to maximize the use of our current resources.
Agreed, and we've put a lot of money into that facility over the years. I think we've got the site outside at a good place with the new fencing and the partnership with the Park District to clear and have some additional space. The dog park they put in next to it has been a real asset to the agency, but the bottom line is I think we're good for probably the next 5 years. We want to get to that kennel renovation that we have some funds committed to, and then beyond that, maybe some long-term planning. But we think it's in a good place. We got a brand new leader who's already hit the ground running, so I think it's going to be a combination of what we've committed to, right, and then some long-term in 2024.
Thank you. Questions or comments from anybody else in the committee? Hearing none, okay. Well, thank you then, Derek. I think we're all good with that. So, did you have, oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Lash?
Just real quick, I had the very same question about the size and potential to replace it. Just to ask one question about capacity, how often are we at capacity in this facility?
It's seasonal. Currently, we are at capacity, and we get straight intakes every day. So, in between adoptions and other transfers, it varies, but we need to maximize the space that we do have.
But I will add that already with Cameron's efforts, we're seeing a number of animals being moved to rescues, appropriate rescues. And so one of the things we liked about Cameron was her record of seeking out partnerships where we can reasonably and regularly move animals to rescues. And so for every rescue that we open up, that opens up space at the facility.
All right, thank you, Derek.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, again. Guadalupe Gonzalez, Superintendent Facilities Maintenance. Here to just go through the slides for the central services. Some of our highlights, we added an additional maintenance engineer, which is in the final phase of bringing him on staff. The Alderman's building, we are redoing the entry doorways with new proper doors for security and giving it better capability for ADA access. Fire museum door replacement has been good. And then we are in the final designs for the 740 Broadway remodel to better utilize the space for the city's use. Delete the garden and bioswale maintenance. And central services, we're working with the resurfacing service parking lot for this customer service facility. Improves public safety, improving the appearance and surface longevity. At the river's edge, panel preservation, improve the appearance, which everyone I'm sure has seen and noted. Repair windows at the GAR Museum. This has saved us a lot of energy and damage to anything with the property, which is very helpful. At our police headquarters, paver maintenance, annual paver stone maintenance, preserve the lot safety functionality and appearance of the property to keep things very safe and then we are coat the roof at City Hall, of course, prevent water infiltration, extend the life, deferring complete roof replacement. Expansion of the APD project, expansion for accommodating additional staff. Remodel finance and purchasing office. Provide adequate space for all staff, enhance security, improve functionality for the whole space. Replace roof at 339 Middle, downtown maintenance division headquarters, eliminate water infiltration and preserve the content of the structural. Install lighting on the river side of City Hall. This is going to give us enhanced security, improve City Hall's appearance. And upgrading signage for various cities' buildings. Upgraded signs will be ADA compliant, space will be properly identified, and just better for all of our visitors. Public Arts replace furnace and condensing unit, 3rd floor. Current units are aged, 19 plus years. Ensure that we're keeping the space comfortable for any visitors and staff, and also to preserve the artifacts that are stored in that facility. Redesign City Hall entrance, protect citizens, staff from wind and weather, improve mall appearance, or the mall appearance. Modern appearance for install City Hall sign, programmable electronic message board, display public information so that our residents and visitors have more information on what's going on with the city. We are looking to replace 3 rooftop units at our TAS APD headquarters. Current units are aged 15 years, preserve our air quality, and ensure that we're keeping things comfortable for our staff there. We also are working on replace concrete at APD, prevent trip hazards due to weather and other items that have caused it, preserve ground appearance so that we have a very comfortable looking and appealing presentation to people that visit. We're also going to be looking for repair masonry in GAR Museum. Repairs are at the castle area, prevent masonry failure, and restore exterior appearance to the historic building. At the APD, we want to paint courtrooms. The paint is worn, outdated, provide modern professional appearance for individuals that visit our courtrooms. And I will leave you with that. If you have any questions.
I have a couple questions on, it's kind of the APD combined, so we have, page 819 and 830, I believe the 8 is the second one. So the annual maintenance and repair of the pavers, looks like in, even years, we have one number, odd years, we have another number, and then we go back and forth. We do extra work in the odd years that makes it 30,000 instead of 20,000.
Yes, John. Yes, we do. The price of going green is very expensive, as we all know. Going that direction, we went green. It's a LEED certified building. So after every single season, we have to come back and repair them, and that's been working out good as far as keeping up with it. It's a lot of pavers that we replace every year, and but we're green, and I'm very supportive of being green.
Okay.
Hope that answers your
Because
question.
it goes back down in the even years.
Yes.
and back
What
up.
we'll do is, in that off year where it's 30, we'll buy extra bricks and have them on stand. We buy in bulk, and then the next year, we don't have to replace as many. So, if that makes any sense.
Is that my question?
If, and also on City Hall, do we have a little bit, I mean, this is early on, but do we have an idea of what the front area is going to look like, or can we
What
work
we're-
with
The main
our design
purpose,
team?
I'm sorry, the main purpose of this was that when the doors when the wind comes, as you know, we had to replace the hinges like 3 times. The wind just rips them open, so we're looking maybe like something like an archway, which will keep the wind down, give it a nice aesthetic appearance, and it'll be well lit.
We also are incorporating lessons learned from the shutdown and then COVID operating City Hall. So we're looking to make permanent the entrance coming off of Water Street and the front being an exit. And Jim's right, that door takes a beating because of the wind tunnel effect. We also are looking at the front of City Hall, the exit. We're working with finance, the technology is outdated for the payment kiosk that's out there. We've had to jimmy rig something because the sun hits it and you see people there kind of trying to navigate the payment. And so we're looking to upgrade that. Also, there's the general appearance of the front. We did the tuck pointing and the restoration that was needed. So the next logical step was the entrance and exit. And it seems to be working out well for people coming in off of Water and leaving out the front.
Alderman Deno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Did I see Fran's Garden was on, and did I hear you say delete?
We took it off ours. Public Works has it on theirs.
Okay.
And as much as we would have liked to do the project, we're really thankful that they took that.
Okay. Well, there's a couple areas downtown. One of them is River Street Plaza. That area needs occasional help. And this Fran's Garden, I was brought to my attention that for a number of years, we hadn't done anything over there. So I'm glad somebody's going to do it, right?
Definitely. We looked at it, and it was such an eyesore. We're like, well, now that we've seen it, we got to do something about it. We put the decision package in, and then we found they were doing it, so we're like, okay, we were taking money from the Water and Sewer Fund, which is theirs anyway, so We just want to try to
Thank you.
streamline it.
I just want to really go back real quick to what Alderman Buckhead brought up about the pavers, because I was going to talk about the two, not about the off years, but this is the cost of doing business for pavers, no matter what, no matter where, right? This is kind of like a normal wear and tear that no matter who had this is kind of what you have to do based on the square footage and everything like that.
My honest answer is it really is. And, yeah, we actually use special salt so it doesn't deteriorate them. It's exactly what we're supposed to use. And we're very adamant about making sure we're there when the salt truck, we have a contract to do the parking deck. We're there they load our salt to make sure they're using the right salt at all times, but they just do deteriorate.
Okay, Mr.
And remember, I know it's been a number of years, but that was intentionally designed to be permeable so that we required less detention. Because the water, that parking lot also acts as detention. So to do it that way, I think the city fully understood that there would be a maintenance component to it, but it does serve a positive purpose from having less conventional detention because it's permeable pavers. And I think we've had enough years of experience now where in those $30,000 years, they're basically stockpiling some pavers, depending on the rough winter we have, plowing, erosion, things like that. And so under the circumstances, if you walk it, it still looks pretty good.
Right.
But it definitely has served and continues to serve its purpose for detention.
All right, it just seemed like a lot, and I guess assuming we thought this was going to be the gig going in, this is what's costing doing business, but, yeah, so I just.
Well, and it is a heavily used parking lot.
Right, yes,
You've got the circuit court on the one side, the police use on the other, and, under the circumstances, the team does a great job of maintaining it.
All right, good, thank you. Any other questions about this? Alderman Lash?
Thank you. About the sign at the entrance, you mentioned a digital sign. Is that in addition to the big 4x8 sort of advertising billboard that we have between the front and back entrance?
And you're referring to the kiosk?
The kiosk.
What it'll be, the front sign, the City Hall nostalgic sign, will move to the side of Water Street Mall area, and then we'll put an electronic sign in the front of City Hall facing Downer, so we can actually, it'll be totally different. We'll be able to put like what's happening at City Hall there, where the kiosk is more advertising.
And then just a quick question on the brick. Do we do our own brickwork to replace those pavers, or do we hire somebody?
We contract that out. It's very labor intensive, but we supervise to make sure it's being done correctly.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so for Derek Winston again, Director of Public Facilities. So for fleet in '23, I'm really proud that our division was able to maintain the fleet in an acceptable manner despite all of the supply chain issues and vehicle acquisition problems. We're all ready to go for winter. We incorporated 2 additional city networked fuel sites, and that's at AFD stations 3 and 8, and they have both products, and all vehicles in the city will be able to fuel at those locations. We procured an additional electric vehicle for a total of 2, and then we replaced our tire changing and wheel balancing machines. So for '24, we're looking at replacing our parts washer. We're going to get a larger one that will enable us to clean more parts, and it has a better finish to the end of it. And it's aqueous, so it is environmentally friendly. We're looking for an additional mobile welding unit. The one we got last year worked very well, but we've come into conflicts where we have simultaneous welding jobs going on, so we're looking to add 1 so we can do 2 at the same time. We're looking to get an abrasive blast cabinet. So what this does is it has an abrasive media inside, like a sand. Basically, it's essentially a sandblaster. And it protects staff from being exposed to chemicals, and it'll allow us to recycle parts as opposed to replacing them. Any questions on fleet?
Questions, comments? Thank you, Derek.
Okay. And then for the parking deck, looking to MVPS. So we have one decision package. We're looking to install a roll-up security gate on the entrance to the 5th floor. So we've had some problems with troubled youth going up and spitting or dropping items over the 5th floor. So when not needed, we want to be able to isolate that. Any questions on parking deck?
Questions? Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, and then for transit, Lincoln lot, this is the auxiliary lot for the ATC. It's right on the northwest corner of Lincoln and Spring Streets. It needs to be seal coated and restriped. And it'll extend the longevity of the surface and make a better aesthetic appearance for the neighborhood. We also want to refurbish the 8 benches at the ATC. These are the original benches from the old station. We found a local vendor that has offered to restore those to its original state. I don't think you can buy these anymore. Currently, at the this is the main lot of the ATC. So currently, we rent fencing to kind of corral like event goers and protect them from crossing into the busy Route 25 there. As opposed to doing that annually, we're looking to install some aluminum ornate fencing that'll kind of beautify that area and relieve us of that rental liability every year. And then finally, we're looking to seal coat the Route 59 commuter parking lot. That was paved a few years back, and we don't want to lose it, so we want to go ahead and seal that and restripe it and preserve the longevity of it.
Any questions or comments on this portion?
Yeah, just
Alderman Bug?
on the Lincoln Avenue lot, when was the last time we did that? I thought we were going to do that a few years back, and it got pushed because of COVID or something.
That, to my recollection, the last time that was done was like 2015 or 16. And that was like a spray application. It wasn't a complete, so it didn't last very long. This time we'll do it with an actual detailed squeegee, which will be much more thorough and last a lot longer.
I think you're right, Alderman Bug. We were going to do it, I think, in 20, and it got pushed.
Right. It needs it. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Alderman Talra?
Do we know how much money we're spending on renting those fences that are part of the ATC units?
So annually, it's nearly 5, and it's probably eclipsed 5,000 for the season. And then with the Chris Crindle market, that extended it further because we had to keep it in place.
Thank you.
Alderman Lash?
Just as you look at public safety for that parking lot and that crossing, I know we're using a lot of police hours and volunteer hours there for that crossing. Has there been any consideration to look at a walk bridge or something over 25? I don't know what the feasibility is, but long-term, if we're expanding that facility, I'm wondering what our cost savings might be.
We have looked at that. The problem with those is, as we've experienced over by Del Webb, you need a lot of lead property on both sides because of the pitch and ADA. And right there, it gets tight, mostly because the way the park is currently configured, there's not enough landing. There might be on the other side, but we also don't own that land on the other side. So we've tried over the years to enhance the safety of the crossings. And the police have done a great job. As you may know, on event days at River Edge Park, they restrict traffic coming down after a certain hour. And then after and when people leave the park, there's no traffic. Everything is outbound. Nobody's coming north or south on Broadway. But we have looked at that. It's tight there, and we don't have enough land to do it.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Any other things to report on, Jim?
No, we just, we wanted to make sure we don't get a chance to say that we appreciate your guys' support. and thanks for allowing us to present to you today.
Well, thank you. You guys do a great job with the city, and it's a big city. We have a lot of things going on here, so I know that's a 24/7 type of gig, so, yes. Thank you. So we're good to the, Alderman Lash, did you have something?
Sure, just to follow up, I don't know if I thought it was, might have been part of this, but have we talked about the fire expansion yet, and where is that going to fall into the budget for the new fire stations?
Sure, so, based on council action, both architects were approved. We've had kickoff meetings with those architects, so planning is well underway. Jim will take the lead, his department, along with the current Assistant Chief Anselo, who is the operations chief. But unlike years past, where these budgets for their buildings were embedded in the fire department, they've been moved to public facilities, because at the end of the day, whether they're a firehouse, a police station, water and sewer, they're all public facilities under Jim and his team. So we will probably sometime in January be updating the council on a timeline and a schedule. Our plan right now is to concurrently design and build all three of them. Now, whether the market conditions and supply chains and all of that come in, we'll make adjustments as we go. But those plans are well underway, and we will periodically keep the public and the council apprised of progress. We did close yesterday on the approved parcel on Eola, and so that's going to be Fire Station 13?
Nine.
9, I'm sorry, 9. And then, of course, the other one with, so there'll be 2, the one on property we own at Nan and Bilter, and then the one now on Eola, and then, of course, to complete the public safety campus on Indian Trail, basically a new fire station. That's 4, which will be also house EMA. So a lot of change coming for fire department operations in a very positive way.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else to come before the finance committee today?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Bay, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 2:45. Thank you, Jim, and your crew.
Thank you.